Hello YouTube. Today I want to talk about a topic that's very near and dear to me, and it has to do with our relationships with people. And for so long you go about life thinking that pretty much you give your everything to somebody and you expect the same thing back, or at least whatever you do give, you give it back. But I've come to a realization lately that that's not really the case, and it's a part of an incomplete truth about the human psyche and how relationships are built in the first place. What I've come to realize that in my own life, I've been a people pleaser. I've been somebody that kind of molds myself into however best suits the people around me. And the reoccurring question that I have in my life is that why is the efforts that I give to other people never feel like it's reciprocated back? Like the energy, the time spent, the emotional investment, etc. Why does that never feel like it comes back to me, even though I give it, right? Because, I mean, if what we know about relationships to be true, then it's that you basically get whatever you give. But if that is the case, then why for so long have I been trying to answer the question of why do I never feel reciprocated in my efforts? And what I've come to realize is, well, that's not entirely true. You can go your whole life giving everything you have to people, but it doesn't mean that you will get that back. So if that's not exactly the case of how human connections work and how the psyche works, then what is? Okay. Well, to answer that, I'm going to start with why that doesn't work. So, what happens when there's one person giving their all and basically to appeal to an individual? When there's one person giving their all to appeal to one individual, that individual won't take that investment and energy given into something, well, I guess valued. They won't value it as much because you're constantly giving it. It's expected. And for what's expected, you can't really expect a return. Not all the time, at least. So what ends up happening when you give all your energy and all yourself to appeal to one person, what you end up doing is leave nothing for them to have to reach out for. Basically, you erase all presence of boundaries. And when you do that, people's respect for you just starts to plummet. And they appreciate you less and less the more and more you give. Now, you could hear that and think that I'm telling you to basically manipulate your way into getting people to like you or reciprocate your efforts. But that's not what I'm telling you to do. You don't have to be strategic or tactical about it. It should be natural, because it occurs in moments where you simply decide not to betray yourself for someone's approval, or for someone to look at you in a certain way, for someone to see you how you would want them to see you, when really they should just see you as you are. And you shouldn't mold yourself into doing things or saying things or just accepting things that go against your boundaries, you know? And why this is such a near and dear topic for me is because, well, essentially it means that for the better part of my life, everything that I've been doing and how I've been going about relationships has been counterproductive, to say in the least. Because when you realize that everything that you were doing because you thought you were doing something nice, or you were being kind, and all this stuff, really what you were doing is just pushing people away, not giving them a reason to even want to reciprocate, because they don't feel they have to. They don't feel that it's necessary. You don't give them the incentive. You don't give them the reason to be, And that's not to say I was doing it performatively or anything. At one point, I even came to accept the fact that it would probably never even be reciprocated, And that I began to think that maybe even it was a bit selfish to actually need them to reciprocate, But what I'm coming to find out is that if I keep doing that for every relationship that I have for the remainder of my life, then I probably will never have a relationship with somebody that actually feels fulfilling, that I'm actually happy in. So, it's one of those uncomfortable truths, because you've been led to believe something for so long, and you thought to believe it to be true, because you didn't want to face the possibility that it probably wasn't true. And a lot of times in life, the things that are most uncomfortable are probably the most true. So the overarching message of this video is, if you want people to truly and authentically connect with you and have real relationships that last, that grow, that prosper, you must establish your sense of self. You must know what you're willing to tolerate, what you're not willing to tolerate. You must take time for yourself and just be as much of you as you can be. And if you do those things, they'll get you farther than people pleasing, than simply being the nicest person or the most reliable person, the most unconfrontational person, whatever. It'll get you farther than all that can ever get you. So, with that being said, I hope you learned something. I hope you were able to learn something from this video. And with that being said, I'll see you next time.